Love is Blind Season 7 reunion. Let's get into it. First and foremost, not too much on my face, not too much on me right now. I already did my skincare routine. It's late. It's already past my bedtime. I stayed up for this, so really quickly, very minimal editing. Let's go. I have a lot of thoughts. We're going to keep it as brief as possible. Okay, so first and foremost, everybody looks great. Even though I don't really care for Ramses' outfit, everybody looks moisturized. Everybody looks good. My first thought initially when they all came out, I was like, I wonder if it is awkward and really hard to see someone, because some of them have talked, some of them haven't talked. I wonder if it's really hard to see somebody you almost married, you haven't talked to them in forever, and your entire relationship is out there for the world to see. So I wonder if that's hard. Funnily enough, the only couple that seems to have ended things on good terms and are still on speaking terms is Leo and Brittany, and we'll talk about them at a later date. And it's probably because they didn't get too far into the experiment with each other, so it was probably easy for them to be friends. Like, yes, they did go to Miami, but yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. The reunion itself was an hour and a half long, and when they introduced all of these extra guests from past seasons, I was like, why are they here? I really wish they would have used the time that they spent on the people from the prior seasons. I really wish they would have spent it on obviously the couples from this season, so I'm not going to cover them. I fast forwarded through all their scenes, did not watch them. I was not interested in them. Clearly they brought those people on for filler, but the time that we spent asking those people questions, what should have been, in my personal opinion, could have been better spent asking a little bit more hardball questions to the other couples, but oh well. The biggest thing from this season was the revelation with Tyler. He had kids, all of that drama going on. And yes, Ashley and Tyler are still married. Taylor and Garrett are still married. The married couples, they look great. Whoever wrote Nick's lines for the reunion, good job, 100%, because Nick was so excited to get off all of these puns, and I personally love a good pun, so I wasn't mad about it. But at a certain point, it's like, Nick, calm down, like calm down. So they first started off interviewing Ashley and Tyler, and I'm happy, she's happy. I honestly do not want to hear anything about Tyler's kids ever again. I really appreciated his explanation. I loved his explanation. I'm tired of people dragging Ashley. The way she has been treated online is really disgusting when people, again, do not know the whole situation. And in part, it's very easy for people to form their opinions because they're not operating with all of the information available to them. So I honestly understand why people had a lot to say, but it is very unfortunate. And one thing I absolutely agree with Tyler about is that it is very unfortunate those children were brought into this situation by Bry's mom, who exposed the situation, put it all out there, posted those kids' faces, didn't blur them, brought these children into a situation where now all of this is going to be on the internet forever. And I just think it's very messy the way it all unfolded over the past couple of weeks, using this whole situation as tea. These are people's real lives, and I really liked Tyler's explanation. And if you choose to, dislike Ashley and Tyler after this situation, you are entitled to. However, I thought his explanation of the situation, loved it. Thought it was fair, short, sweet, to the point. He doesn't really owe any of us an explanation. Ashley doesn't owe anybody an explanation, and I hope that they have a happily ever after on their own terms, and they are no longer on the receiving end of online abuse from people. I feel really bad for Ashley, and I'm glad she was able to use this reunion to clear up everything, use it as a space to say what she wanted to say. And I think it is really horrible that those children were exploited by Bry's mother for what? For what? Moving on to Marissa and Ramses. Marissa looks great. Ramses, he looks great. I didn't like his outfit, but that's neither here nor there. Watching that scene all over again was just really heartbreaking. It was really sad. I'm glad Marissa's mom was there for her. And I thought, looking at Marissa's mom, they showed her in the opening trailer with like scissors, and I was like, girl, calm down. That's a little too much. I thought she was very fair to Ramses. I thought she was very respectful of him. And Marissa was like, I think I hate him. And I can honestly see that. But at the same time, there's no easy way to break up with someone. The only thing that I didn't like was how he said he was overwhelmed and exhausted by her energy. Maybe it's just me as a high energy person who is married to somebody who's a little bit more even low energy. This is not something that was a surprise to him. Marissa was this way coming out of the gate. It really seems like it dawned on him, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this person and it's becoming too much. And yes, he absolutely has the right to decide that I don't want this. And he has the right to break off the engagement. Nobody should be forced to marry anybody that they don't want to. However, the entire time he was reassuring her that he was in it, didn't have any doubts. And then 2 days before the wedding, you blindside her. And that was what was wrong about the situation. But at the same time, and I think he said something to the effect of there's no right time to break up with someone. And I disagree with that. This is not the first time you felt like this way, like overwhelmed and exhausted by her energy. That's not the first time you felt it 2 days before, your wedding. So why wait that long? Like, it really did seem like the conversation he had with whomever in his family, that is what sparked his hesitation, or that's what pushed him to finally be like, no, I don't need to be in this relationship. But the timing was just terrible. I can see Ramses's point of view, and you can tell he was hurt. It was just a really crappy situation, but they both deserve happiness. And if they're incompatible, they're incompatible. It is better to call off an engagement than it is to go through a divorce. Then they brought on Zach and Bliss, who I don't care about. So fast forwarded through that, taking us to Nick and Hannah. Yes, Hannah, give us nothing, girl. Literally give us nothing. I will say, I do think she looked good. I didn't care about the outfit. I didn't really like her hair. You know what it's giving? And I say this as somebody who was in high school during Y2K, the height of Y2K fashion. I actually really like Y2K fashion, but there is and that's what it's giving, but there's something about it. I just don't like it, but you can tell she was feeling herself. Her makeup was on point. Her hair was on point. It was just the outfit, that random floret placement. Nick's outfit didn't really feel one way or another about it. I was like, are you wearing heels? Are there lifts in those sneakers? But he looked great. Yeah, Hannah, give us nothing, because the outfit didn't give, and the energy, the attitude, it also wasn't giving. And I just like, ugh. It's like when they first started talking to her, it's like the self-awareness is almost there. It's like almost there. It wants to jump out at her. It's like wisdom is chasing her, but she is much faster. Like, it's almost there. You could tell that, like, she's walking in that direction, and then she immediately goes left, and it's like, no, keep on going straight. Like, her self-awareness isn't there. But I was proud of her in acknowledging that the way she treated Nick was not okay. The way she talked to him was not okay. She did say she was in therapy, and I wish her well on that journey. However, their entire interaction, it's like she was waiting for him to apologize to her for whatever she felt his indiscretions were. And it turns out that she found out that he was talking negatively about her. And at the end of the day, what I got from their entire interaction was she felt a type of way, because she's been, out of everybody from this entire season, she has been on the receiving end of, I would say, the most dislike, other than Tyler. I think actually people have been more vocal about her dislike of her, because she was actively abusing this man on television. And so people have been very vocal and verbal about how much they dislike her and how disturbing and off-putting her behavior was. And it seems like she was frustrated by the fact that Nick wasn't on the receiving end of the same behavior because of all of the shortcomings she saw in him. It was as if she said she like watched it back and was like, oh my God. But it seemed like she was watching the same thing and had this expectation that people were going to see all the faults that she saw in Nick and justify her abuse of him. And it really seems like it surprised her and frustrated her that people didn't. And I say this because she brought up the fact that she's getting a beating online, and then Marissa jumped in the situation and added sauce in the stew, like, oh, well, Nick, you were talking about her looks and you said you wanted to be the most famous person on Love is Blind, which, so it is a reality TV show at the end of the day. Like, yes, you are obviously going on there for love, but it is reality TV. And Hannah, you've been on TikTok, you've been gathering followers, you had this entire glow up. Obviously, your goal may not be to be the most famous person from Love is Blind, but you are using the clout you have from Love is Blind. So if that is what his intention was, okay, like it's almost like she was just looking for anything to make him look bad, and then brought the girls into the situation. And they were all like, yeah, Nick went around saying Hannah looked like a grenade. And y'all don't gotta say it multiple times. Like, if somebody said I look like a grenade, we could just leave it there at once. We could just say it once and be like, you were talking about my looks. Like, a grenade is also so specific. That honestly sent me. Like, it's not okay. Like, if Nick did say that and describe her as a grenade, that's not okay. But the fact that everybody kept saying, yeah, you said she looked like a grenade. Yeah, he said she looked like, stop. We don't need, like, stop. She's already dead. Like, relax. But, yeah, I didn't really like their interaction. Nick was very nice to her. He was still so patient with her. And you know what was so funny to me about it? I'm glad that Garrett finally jumped in and was like, relax, this conversation is really immature. And I love how it was very telling to me that all of the girls had the same reaction and were jumping to defend her, except Ashley and Taylor. Like, Taylor looked so put off. I don't think Taylor, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I ever saw them interact in the pods or even outside of the pods. Like, Taylor does not like Hannah. Like, go back and watch that. Taylor's facials the entire time. Anytime Hannah spoke, especially during that interaction, Taylor was looking like, she was like rolling her eyes. She wouldn't even look in Hannah's direction. Like, she does not like Hannah, and I really don't blame her. And Ashley was over it. Like, the married couples, they are very much in sync with one another, and I love it. They were not here for Hannah's nonsense, and I absolutely love it. Like, I love that Garrett really had his back and was like, no, this is really immature. Let's move past it. I 110% agree. I hope Hannah continues to go to therapy, because she clearly, like I said, the self-awareness, she's marching on that path. She's just not there yet. Like, Hannah looked so ready to jump on Nick. Like, she just looked so ready. And then she like did that thing, like shushing him, like, let me talk. I was just over it. Honestly, she was just intent. Honestly, I think she was really frustrated that she is the one who got the bad edit, and she is frustrated that Nick didn't get the same edit, that he came out looking like the good guy, or we didn't see the real Nick. And rule 101 of reality TV, and this is what I always say when people complain about getting a bad edit, they can't edit any material you do not give them. They had a lot to work with, Hannah, and that's on you. If Nick did say those things about you, it's not on camera. So it devolved into exactly what it was, a he said, she said situation, and everybody was pretty much over it. I was over it, so let's move past it. Also, can I just say this best friend nonsense is ridiculous? Like, maybe it's just me. Like, I didn't grow up with this idea of like best friend this and best friend that. Like, I have really close friends, and I didn't grow up like calling everybody that I was friendly with my best friend. Yes, I recognize that this Love is Blind, this experiment is something that a fraction, like less than 1% of the population will even know about. Like, it is something that brings you together. It is a very unique experience that will bond these women for life, and the guys too. But why are we calling people we've known for like 3 weeks our best friends? They didn't even spend 3 weeks in the pods. I think they spent 10 days in the pods. So it's like, how is this person your best friend? And I think I did see that Marissa and Katie knew each other outside of the pods, which makes sense because Katie lives in Baltimore, and I know Marissa is going to school in Baltimore, so there is a possibility that they have met outside of the pods. But it is really weird, in my personal opinion, to be best friending somebody you've known for like 10 days, 2 weeks. Like, it's a little immature, but maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me, because I didn't grow up like that. I didn't grow up with like calling everybody my best friend. I have like really close friends, but I don't think I would call anybody my best friend at this moment in life. That's a lie. I would call my husband my best friend. But that's it. Like, we got to see Leo and Brittany, and I really like them together. Like, it's a shame that they didn't work out, but they're still really good friends. They went to Miami together. They hung out with Brittany's friends. Brittany is dating somebody. Leo is still single. I really liked that. And even before I saw some of his TikToks, and he strikes me as a really funny person. And it's like kind of sad that we did not see that side of him. But again, I think he was edited a very specific way, because that's what reality TV does. Like, reality TV, on every single TV show, they're gonna manipulate the footage to play on your emotions. Like, that's the primary role of reality TV. It is entertainment. And so I think he was edited to kind of be like the jester, but he seems like somebody who was really funny, and I love that Tim took up for him. Tim had very kind things to say about him. Him and Brittany went to Miami together. He's single. He did apologize to Hannah. I really like that he apologized to Hannah. Honestly, I feel like in another lifetime or in another context, no, they wouldn't have worked out, Leo and Brittany. They probably wouldn't have worked out, but I feel like it wouldn't have, like, we could have seen Leo in a better light. Like, I would love to see Leo in another environment. Like, I know that they do Perfect Match. Maybe they can have Leo on that show because he could find love, you know? He seems like a very endearing person. We just saw him edited as the jester, and that is very much what he gave. All right, so moving on to Monica and OluwaStephen. OluwaStephen is just, he is full of, he is so full of it. He's one of those guys that goes to therapy and then weaponizes therapy speak against you, because he came out like very sincere, and Monica instantly called out his BS. Like, Monica's like, whatever. Yeah, you wrote me a letter. Oh, sorry, you wrote my dad a letter, but did you write it because you were sincere, or did you write it because you wanted to bring it up on the show to show everybody that you're such a good person? And immediately, as soon as she called him out on his nonsense, he immediately flipped the switch, and he was like, I already apologized, and people are gonna view me a certain way. You know, he kind of pulled a Tim in a different way. Like, OluwaStephen and Tim are very similar. They're like different sides of the same coin to me. But anyways, yeah, I was personally, I was over Monica and Stephen, because he kept on bringing up, like, you know, after he went on his rant and Monica would kind of cut him down a little bit, he would be like, yeah, but we met up for a date after that. And Marissa was like, well, what does it matter? You're human. I effed Ramses for that. I was like, oh my God, why do we need to know this? This reunion was honestly a mess. I exclusively was here. I was here for Ashley and Tyler, Taylor and Garrett, and a little bit of Nick D. And I came and saw what I needed to see. And after that, I was ready to go. Like, after Marissa said that, I was like, okay, y'all can wrap this up because this is getting a little ridiculous. But yeah, Monica and Stephen, like, I was just really over them. I don't even know. I went back and watched the first few episodes because I don't even recall seeing them fall in love in the pods. It was so fast. I was like, how did we get here? What bound them together? And they both did admit, you know, we didn't see a lot of things. So now I'm like, y'all need to have cameras there 24/7. Like, none of this, like, not us being able to see certain things because y'all don't want to hire producers, y'all don't want to hire camera people to be there 24/7. Y'all need a Big Brother it up. They got cameras everywhere. Okay, real world road rules. And it's probably easier because those people are confined to one house. But no, I'm gonna need y'all to get on your Zoom and give them camera have somebody filming them 24/7, because there's a lot we missed that I think could have cleared up a lot of the nonsense and tomfoolery people were confused about. But anyways, yeah, Stephen is FOS, and I hope that Monica, you know, she finds love. She was very open about the fact that she's been cheated on in the past. And, you know, that's very unfortunate. She's a beautiful woman. She knows what she wants. She seems very hardworking. She knows her worth. And I hope that she finds love. And I hope that OluwaStephen uses his CPAP machine. He said he has sleep apnea. Just a PSA, if you have sleep apnea, use your CPAP machine. Take your health seriously. Use your CPAP machine. I hope OluwaStephen is using his CPAP machine. Although when they showed the picture of him at the sleep study, his eyes looked a little glazed. And I was like, is this man drunk? Like, anyways, moving on. We get to Alex and Tim, and like I said, Tim and Stephen to me are different sides of the same coin. Tim is, how would I phrase this if Tim was watching this? Because this is how I try to like film these videos, because with the understanding that if I wouldn't say it to your face, it's not something that I'm going to sit here and say on camera and post it for everybody to see. So if Tim was sitting next to me right now, the vibes that I get from Tim is Tim, you're rigid. You're very rigid. Alex's explanation 110% made sense to me. It almost seemed like at certain points, she was over the conversation and simultaneously scared of him. Maybe scared of him might be a stretch. It just seemed like the way he went from 0 to 100 really gave me pause. It like took me aback, honestly. I don't think I was prepared for that. The way he looks at her, and it doesn't gel with what he's saying, because the words that are coming out of his mouth are very kind, they're very nice. He had glowing and positive things to say about Alex, talked about how he loved Alex, talked about how he was serious about meeting her dad. This is somebody he wanted to marry. These are his words. but his actions and his body language are not lining up with his words. Your actions were to break up with this girl 2 days later or express doubts, not communicate with her with the doubts, go through meeting her family, do that whole performance, and then break up with her 2 days later, and then go from I love you to I never want to see you again. And the entire time you're looking at her with disgust and disdain and hatred. Like, it literally, I was shocked. I really was shocked at the way he was looking at her. Like, the way he looked at her, it was full of contempt. It was full of contempt. And when a man can look at you like that and go from zero to 100, it was really scary to me. Wow. And I think that is probably we saw a fraction of what Alex saw. It was also something that I thought was very interesting to her, and a lot of the other couples who have had conflict have said the same thing, that they were trying to protect their image, their partner's image in front of the camera. And so Nick talking about, like, he's a 6-foot black man, weighs 200 and something pounds. Yes, that is very valid. We know that black men and black women are perceived a certain way, portrayed a certain way, especially in the media, especially on social media. And so I understand both of them wanting to be very mindful about what the cameras were capturing and how that was possibly going to reflect on Tim. But unfortunately, we got a lot of holes in the story, and the holes that we got in the story made Alex look bad. And so she is now trying to defend herself against somebody who really hates her, doesn't regard her very highly. And no, she should not have called him, I think she said a little ass B word. Like, she shouldn't have called him that. That was inappropriate. And nobody deserves to be called out of their name. That is very disrespectful. Do not call your partner out of their name. It's disrespectful and it's not helpful to your relationship. At the same time, I think I said this in one of my videos, when you are in that state, you need space. And Alex was saying, I was asking for space. I was asking for space. It is so important. You cannot unring a bell. Once you take it there with your partner, you have taken it there, and it is hard to walk it back. So if your partner says to you, give me space, no matter how much you want to sit there and talk about it in that moment, give them the space that they are asking for. It is really, nothing is more frustrating than trying to just like have a moment. You are feeling, Alex seems to be very self-aware. She was feeling something and was like, I need a moment, I need space. And he's just like, yes, I understand him trying to make sure that she is okay. And it seems like he was very clear with that. But just like Alex said, everything needed to happen on his terms. And that's exactly what it seemed like was happening. And Alex was like, just give me a minute. And he would not give her that minute. And I think in that moment of frustration and feeling overwhelmed, that's when she called him the B word, and it wasn't okay. I understand how she got there. And that entire exchange was really difficult to watch because you could just tell Alex was not getting in a word edgewise. They haven't talked in a year. There's a lot to say. That was not the format in which, the environment in which to have any level of conversation, especially a conversation that was going to get to some sort of resolution. That wasn't going to happen. I really love that Brittany stepped in and was like, relax. She had Alex's back, and she was absolutely right, because even though obviously the reunion is edited, I think they said they filmed for 6 hours and we're only seeing an hour and a half of it. Brittany said, you've been cutting her off the entire time. You pan to the girls on the couch, like Katie and Marissa. They're like, he's whining. And P.S., sorry, not Katie and Marissa, Katie and Marissa's mom. Shout out to Marissa's mom. Like, she is the real MVP. Like, they should have had her up on the stage. Marissa's mom's commentary was so funny to me. I really liked that they had her there. I really liked that they had the parents there. And, they had Ashley's mom there. We didn't see Ashley's dad. I wonder why they didn't have Ashley's dad there. Maybe he was busy. But anyways, yeah, Alex and Tim, they clearly have a lot of unresolved feelings. I think the unresolved feelings are more apparent on Tim's side, but he just seems like, I don't want to call him an angry person because that's not fair. I don't know. I'll leave it at that. I do agree with Alex that I wish that he would have just left her dad out of it. Again, if you have doubts, do not take the parents on this journey, especially knowing how important it was for Alex's dad to give them his blessing. That was very important to Alex. Tim should have understood the magnitude of that, and if he was having doubts, communicate that with her instead of going full steam ahead. I really agree with Alex about that. And Alex looks beautiful. Tim, I hope that they find love. They were just not right for one another. I think that Tim is going to need somebody who is, I don't know. I'm not even trying to be shady. I don't even know what would be the ideal woman for him. So best of wishes to them, though. Best of wishes to them. Alex, you look beautiful. I love the haircut on her. Like, she honestly, I loved everybody's outfit, but I just loved her hair. I loved her makeup. She looked really good. She looks so good. Jessica and Ben, do not care, skip through them. Nancy and Marshall, do not care, skip through them. Like, why are you here? Like, the time that they filmed these people, I wish they would have just talked to, you know, the cast. But I guess we didn't really have that much to work with this season because only 2 of the couples got married. So let's go back to the married couples. Let's go back to the married couples and check in with Taylor and Garrett. They talked about Garrett's glow up, and Garrett looks so good. Did y'all know that he modeled in Fashion Week? I didn't know that. He said he was into modeling. He said he was into fashion. And I was like, Garrett, this man is full of surprises. Now looking at Taylor, it makes sense. Like her outfit, her hair, oh my God, she looks so good. You know, I can tell she's probably a little fashionista. Like I thought her wedding dress, like I loved her wedding dress. Out of all of the wedding dresses, hers was my favorite. So I can tell she's probably like a little fashion girly. So she helped him with this glow up, but she was like, she can make sure to give him credit. She was like, it's not all me. Like it's some of him too. Like he be into the fashions. And I could tell Garrett, you look good. Garrett, you look good. I loved their travels. Like I just really like them as a couple. You know that like couple that is solid and they have everything together. You can go anywhere with them. Like they're just down for anything. You can have a good time with them. That's what Taylor and Garrett give me. Like they look like they are fun to travel with, fun to be around, like really chill to be around. I love seeing their travel videos. And I was really surprised to hear that they were going to settle in Fredericksburg. Well, they said they were looking to move to DC, but they've been staying in Fredericksburg. That really surprised me instead of going back to San Diego, which is their initial plan. But they said that, you know, Garrett was really struggling with being that far away. I know Garrett's mom is so happy. She's like, yeah, you ain't gonna take my baby from me just yet. So they are staying in Fredericksburg for now, gonna move to DC, which is great. You know, Garrett was very honest that he was really struggling with the idea of being so far away from home, which makes sense. Taylor seems very worldly, you know, very cosmopolitan, like she can live anywhere in the world and be just fine. You know, she's very well traveled. And so she's, you know, clearly she's fine anywhere, but Garrett, the transition was going to be a little bit harder for him. So I love that they talked about, you know, we are a unit now. We are a married couple. So we have to do what is best for us. And we are just looking to be in DC, and who knows what, you know, the future will bring. We got time. I really love that, you know, Taylor was, you could tell she really had every intention of leaving DC and going back to San Diego. But for her marriage, what would work out best for now is staying in DC. And I just love, like, when you are married, like they are really taking it seriously. And I love to see that because it's not just about you anymore. You are with another person and this is your person for life. And you can't think about just yourself. You have to think about what's going to work out for the both of you and your union. And I'm really glad to see that both Taylor and Garrett and Ashley and Tyler were very serious about this. You know, we are a unit. We are getting married. I really think that the right couples from this season got married. It made sense, and it still makes sense to me. Looking at everybody else, it just, yeah, they should not. The couples who didn't make it to the altar were the right couples to not make it to the altar, and the couples who made it to the altar and are still married today are the couples that should have been married from the get-go. Every season, I think we always have one standout couple. This is one of those seasons that I think both couples that made it to the altar could have been the standout couples, but that whole situation with Tyler and Ashley kind of put a really big mar on this season for them, as far as like possibly being a couple that could have been uplifted as a standout couple. But maybe now that things have been clarified at the reunion, maybe it'll change, like rehab Tyler's image, but we will see. Right now, Taylor and Garrett, I think they're just going to be that sweetheart couple. I can see them getting, you know, brand deals and partnerships, and I think that could be the same for Ashley and Tyler now that Tyler has cleared things up, but time will tell. Time will tell. Speaking of Ashley and Tyler, they showed us a montage of their time together, their holidays. I loved that. They did talk about starting a tradition with like family ornaments, you know, ornaments for every single year you're together. I think that's cute. I really like that. Like I do that for my Christmas tree. Like I have a set of ornaments that I buy every single year, and it's the same set. You just add it to, like, you know, the tree. Christmas is my favorite holiday. Like hands down, I love Christmas. And I like the Christmas trees that are like very homey. You know, the Christmas trees that are like beautiful and ornate and, you know, productions. Those Christmas trees are nice too. But I love like just a Christmas tree, and you can tell all of the ornaments or just an assortment of, you know, it's a reflection of what is happening in that home, you know, what is happening with the couple and the family and the love. Like, I really love that Christmas tree, and I just have a feeling that's going to be Ashley and Tyler's vibe. That's going to be their Christmas tree, and I love that for them. They did say that they haven't gotten matching tattoos, which great. Like, I don't have any tattoos. I love looking at other people's tattoos, but there's nothing I can think of that I would want on my body for permanent. You know, maybe if I have kids someday, maybe their names or initials, I don't know. But yeah, I would not get my partner's name tattooed on me. That just seems like always like the mark of death in a relationship. Like, as soon as a couple gets themselves or the other person tattooed on them, like, it just seems like it's not gonna last. So I don't want that for me. So Ashley and Tyler, if y'all want to last, maybe don't get each other tattooed. Like, don't do that. Then they ended the reunion by showing us 3 cast members from the new season 8 of Love is Blind. It's gonna be in Minneapolis, and it's gonna be the 5-year anniversary of the show. So they've had 8 seasons. They're gonna have 8 seasons in 5 years. It's pretty awesome. I wonder if they're counting just like US seasons or UK seasons too. And then I think they also did Love is Blind Habibi. Like, I don't know if they're counting that too, but yeah, so that was the reunion. Those are my quick thoughts. It is time for me to go to bed, and I still got to edit this, but like I said, very lightly edited because we got things to do. So drop down in the comments, let me know your thoughts. Am I off base on a couple? Like, what did you think about it? What did you think about it? Let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, peace out.